everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Pearl, and today I'm going to be kickstarting a new series, which is the African Literature series. So I've been meaning to review African books here on my channel, and this is going to be the first video. And so what the series is about is I will be telling you guys African literature that I'm reading at the moment, and also African literature that I plan to read in the future. I'm also hoping to get some recommendations from you guys in the comment section and hopefully get you guys to discuss and talk about African literature, because it's one of my favorite things to read. It's very interesting. It's very different from other kinds of literature because there's a lot of culture and it's just like more vibrant to me. So I guess that's why I have this African attire, which we call Ankara back in Nigeria. And yeah, so I'm just hoping that this will be an interesting one, and this will help you guys pick out African books that you would like to read. So yeah, let's get to it. So the first book I have for you is one that already has a movie. I believe the movie is on Netflix, and it's the one with Idris Elba. And there's another young boy in the movie who I believe won an award for acting in that role. So this one is this. Beasts of No Nation. I don't know why this isn't showing properly. I hope you guys can see it. Beasts of No Nation by Uzodinma Iweala. And this book was an absolute joy to read. I loved reading this book. It has pidgin, or should I say broken English in it, and it's not very easy to write a book with like pidgin English or broken English. And so this book, I was very surprised to find that the author did this very, very well. I really enjoyed reading the pidgin English, because other times when you know there are books that have tried to write broken English and it's very difficult to follow sometimes, but this one is done very, very well. So I would definitely recommend that you guys pick this book up. It's about a young boy who is turned away from his family. His family is actually killed. He's taken away from his family and made to join this guerrilla group of fighters. And they make children do these horrible, horrible things. And there are parts in it that were very, very disturbing and gut-wrenching. But at the end of the day, it is a book. It does tell the reality of some children, or, you know, people that have experienced very, very difficult things like this. It's a very interesting book, and it's written very well. So I would definitely recommend that you guys read this, even though you've watched the movie. I haven't watched the movie, but I'm going to watch it now that I've read this. So yeah. So the next book I have is by our very own well-known Nigerian author, Chinua Achebe. And it's this one. Chinua Achebe's A Man of the People. Yeah. So the thing is, when people talk about Chinua Achebe, everybody thinks of Things Fall Apart. And that is not his only book. He has so many other books that are so interesting. And this is definitely one of them. Man of the People is a very, very interesting book. I loved reading this book. He writes, you know, he's born to write. That was just what it was. Like, there's no other way to explain it. This man can write about someone taking a walk down the park and it would just be the best story ever. His writing is impeccable. I love reading his books. So this one is about a young man who is vying for the same position as a politician, and I believe the politician had already occupied the position for 2 terms and he wanted to go again. Very typical of the African political scene. But yeah, this young man wants to come in and he wants to make a change, and he's kind of challenging this politician. And it just tells you what happens when young people try to get into politics. You know, what is it that they say? They say politics is a dirty game, and it really is a dirty game. I believe this book was set in the 70s, and it still resonates with what is going on right now back home in Africa. It's just very difficult for young people to have a say in the political scene, and the leaders who are there do not really want to see a change. They act like they do, but from the actions, you're not really including young people in your decision making. You're not even allowing young people vote for who they want. There's a lot of rigging, there's a lot of corruption, and that is definitely in this book. So I think everyone should read this book. It's a very, very good book, and hopefully this book would teach us, because this was sent to the 70s, so this book should let us know that it's about time that we retake what is ours. The country does not, the country meaning Nigeria and Africa as a continent, is not for one man, it's for the people, and we should be able to have a say, and we should get what it is that is our rights and what we want. So hopefully this book motivates Africans to begin to speak out about what they want. So yeah, that's a very good one. Okay, so the next book I have is another very well-known Nigerian author, and I don't need to say much. It's Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, and it's Dear Ijawala, or A Feminist Manifesto in 15 Suggestions. And this book is really, really insightful. She writes very insightful books. Her books challenge you to think about yourself, think about what propels you to act a certain way. And that's exactly what this book is about. It's about how to raise a girl child in today's society, given that the society is shaped by all these social constructs, sexism, racism, and all whatnot. So it's one of those books that challenges us to really think about how we are living in today's society, and think about the things we would like to change about today's society. I don't really agree with every single thing here. I don't know if everyone does. I believe there was one suggestion. So I'm just going to quickly check for that. Yeah. So it's the 6th suggestion, and I'm just going to read a bit of it. And it says, a friend of mine says she will never call her daughter princess. People mean well when they say this, but princess is loaded with assumptions of a girl's delicacy, of the prince who will come to save her, etc. This friend prefers angel and star. So it's one of those things. Do we not call our girls princess because the word is, or the word symbolizes a lady in distress who needs help, or do we just change the narrative of the meaning of the word and make princess means a girl who is independent and vulnerable and strong, and gets what she goes after what she wants. She believes in herself, not just a girl that is waiting for a prince to come and save her. I believe maybe we should change the narrative and reclaim the word rather than just do away with the word entirely. So yeah, that would be my own suggestion. But I love this book. It's a very, very interesting book. I read this in one day. Amazing. Okay, so the next book I have is this one. I hope you guys can see this. I don't know if I'm doing this right, but yeah. The Hairdresser of Harare by Tendai Huchu. And I loved reading this book. It's so easy to read. It just has this nice flow to it. It's a very, very interesting read as well. There's this other lady that writes like this, and I love her books. It's Yejide Kilanko, the lady who wrote Daughters Who Walk This Path. She's very easy to read as well, and those kind of writings, you just kind of chill on the couch or in your bed, and you just read it every day, and you just read it until you finish it, and you just feel, you feel like you're involved in the book, and I really like books like that. So this book tackles the issue of sexual orientation in Africa, and how Africa is dealing with the differences in sexual orientation. Africa is not as progressive as the West, and so their laws and their customs and traditions have not really evolved to be as inclusive as it is here in the West. And so this book really talks about that. It's a very interesting book. It's about this young man who works as a hairdresser and his relationship with all the other hairdressers and with the customers as well. And then it leads up to this eye-opening scene. So it's a very interesting book. So I would say you guys should read this book. And I love the cover as well. I'm going to be posting this one on my African Reads page, which will be in the description box. And so the last two books actually are, I have not read these books yet, but I plan to read them. I have started reading one, but I haven't finished it. And so I'm just going to start with the first one, which is this one. Everybody knows this book, Homegoing by Yagiasi. Yes. And this book, there was this whole rave when this book came out, and it just seems like it's going to be very interesting. Even just reading the excerpt of the book, it just sounds really, really interesting, and I cannot wait to read this book. I've heard so many good things about this book. It says it says Efia and Essie, two sisters with two very different destinies, one sold into slavery, one a slave trader's wife. The consequences of their fate reverberate through the generations that follow, from the Gold Coast of Africa to the plantations of Mississippi, from the missionary schools of Ghana to the dive bars of Harlem. Spanning continents and generations, Yaa Gyasi has written a miraculous novel. So yes, I cannot wait to read this. If you guys have read it, talk about it in the comment section, and when I finish reading it, I'll probably respond. Okay, so we have the last book here, and this one is the one I've started already. It's She Would Be King by Y.A. Moore. You can see it's so good. I love this book. I love the cover. I love the size. I just love everything about the book, and I love the name. You know, it's She Would Be King. It just sounds so regal. So it sounds really, really. Oh yeah, I love the name. So She Would Be King, and this book follows the lives of three different characters. There is Lai, the story of Lai, who is a girl born in a community that doesn't accept her. There's the story of June Day, and there's the story of Norman Aragon. So basically, it talks about these three different people in these different eras, and they do have superpowers, and they're all black people. Well, two are black and one is mixed. So yeah, and it's just interesting. Like the story of June Day, which I have started already, talks about this man working as a cotton picker in a farm, and this was in the slavery era, and he's actually very, very strong, and it's very interesting to just imagine that kind of world whereby at that time there was somebody that had this much strength, kind of like Superman. You know, what would have actually happened? Would they have saved everybody? It's one of those very interesting, you know, it's just very interesting to think about. So yeah, that's what the book is about. All three of them have superpowers and how they find their way around the world with those powers. So yeah, I would say you guys should read this as well. It's very, very interesting. And so those are the books I have. I have them here. I have posted some of these on my page, African Reads. You guys should please check that out and follow the page as well. I would have some more recommendations coming your way. If there's something you would like to see, please let me know in the comment section. And hopefully we'll do this very, very soon. And I'll try to wear like Ankara for all my African series. Okay? Yeah, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.